Hello everyone, let's start with our today's conference. Return and recurrence. Well, unfortunately, there is a confusion between the word return and reincarnation. Okay? Reincarnation. It's necessary to establish first the difference between these two words because are totally different. When we talk about reincarnation, we are talking specifically and literally about knowing ourselves, the knowledge of ourselves. When we get the whole Christification, when we finish knowing ourselves entirely, in each one of the 49 levels of the psyche, we are reincarnated with our own inner being. Right? Which shows us, demonstrates us that this and this are totally different. When we talk about return, we are talking about that open possibility of returning to this Earth planet 108 times, 1 in 108 human physical bodies. Alright? The day we get our entire purification, the day we eliminate with our Divine Mother the whole ego we carry inside, in that day we can say that we are reincarnated with our own inner being, alright? Which is totally different from the word return. And recurrence is another mechanical law. Return is a mechanical law. The law of returning to this Earth planet until we achieve, respecting always our free will, until we achieve the knowledge of ourselves. Alright? Obviously, only if we do want to know ourselves entirely, as deepest as we can in each one of our 49 levels of the psyche. And when we talk about recurrence, this is another mechanical law. And this one explains to us that is the repetition of scenes, of dramas, comedies, tragedies in each one of these 108 human physical bodies. Sometimes we men return in female physical bodies. And sometimes you women return in male physical bodies. It is also something to reflect on. It is necessary to stop that sexism, that battle between genders, because all of us guys, without exception, we've been ladies, and all of you ladies without exception, have been guys, have been in male physical bodies, right? So let's start. Let's continue. A man is what his life is. Man is what his life is. If we don't work on ourselves, if we don't change radically, if we don't achieve a correct transformation, using the correct procedures, the correct techniques, practical tools to establish permanently the authentic freedom which happens as soon as any one of us delete entirely the whole ego we've been creating during the whole amount of human physical bodies that we've taken during our entire history. We are losing our time miserably. We come to this earth planet, to this beautiful earth planet, despite the horrible situations that we've been living and facing nowadays, only to know ourselves, only to know who we really are. Also death. Death is basically to start again our life with the possibility of repeating it again once more. Through 108 human existences. Unfortunately and in reality, we come back again to this earth planet in the seat of our descendants. This is something already proved. We could be probably our own great-grandfather, for example, or our own great-grandmother. That's totally possible. Remember, if we don't change entirely, internally, radically, we are going to come back to this earth planet in the same current physical family in which we are. But if we take advantage of our time, of our present existence, human existence, to delete our whole ego, there is a huge probability of not coming back again here to this earth planet in a mechanic way. In a mechanic way. Life of each one of us is a living film. That we bring to the eternity. Remember that when we talk about the dimension of the eternity, we are specifically and accurately talking about the fifth dimension of our universe. Our life is a living field that we bring to the eternity, fifth dimension, when we die. As soon as we die. And when we come back here again to a new human existence, if we have the right, by law, of having again a new human physical body, before of completing 108 human physical existences, we are going to repeat the same dramas, comedies, tragedies, events, positive and negative situations, events, the same as in our previous one. The repetition of dramas, comedies and tragedies. Is the basis of the law of recurrence, firstly, and then of the law of return. Is the basis, the fundamental to understand here when we talk about the law of recurrence and the law of the return. Each one of our human existences is made of too many different scenes. And when we come back here to live again one more human existence, what we do is to develop again the role of our existence, making incessant repetitions of the different previous dramas, comedies, and tragedies of our last human existences. Most of us don't even really remember our previous existence. We don't even remember when we were, for example, 1 year or 1 day old in this current existence. A film is made of different scenes, alright? And each one of these scenes are possible only through the reality, through the existence of actors. Usually and commonly without actors, it isn't possible a film, a movie, the movie of our entire life. When we talk about actors esoterically, yes, for sure, we're talking about the different subjective elements, psychological flaws or defects that we do carry inside of our psyche. This incessant repetition of events, tragedies, dramas, comedies, also called positive or negative events, in each one of our human existences is only a repetition of the same. But if we delete consciously, voluntarily, respecting always our free and others' free will, if we delete actors, it won't be possible the repetition of the same scenes, events, tragedies, comedies that we've been creating and repeating during the last previous existences. Alright? And for sure, in fact, will change our entire destiny. It is possible to change our destiny. This bored repetition of the same comedies, events in our current and previous existences, but only possible eliminating the cause of it. Eliminating, deleting the origin of our negative creations, of our dramas, events, scenes of life. We release the consciousness which is trapped inside of each one of our psychological flaws. For sure, our destiny will be totally different. Pointing basically to the authentic freedom, to the self-realization of our inner being, using hopefully correct practical tools to feel, to live the change inside. Here we're talking only about practitioners. As always, it is only possible for practitioners using correct tools to seriously feel the change inside. Not everything works. Right? Obviously, each one of these actors that we carry inside, since previous human existences, are repeating from existence to existence the same character, exactly the same behaviors, in an emotional way, mental way, sexual way, motor way, instinctive way, and so on. Believe the actors, the change will change. The destiny will change. It's possible to detect this bored repetition of the same behaviors we've been creating since thousands of years ago, thanks to that practical tool called self-observation. Let's see how it works. If a young man, for example, at the age of 25 years old, had an affair with a lady, with a girl of 15 years old, unfortunately, for example, in human existence number 103, during the next existence 104, being she, for example, 25, and he 15 years old, mathematically, accurately, at the same age and during the next human existence, they will repeat exactly the same affair, living exactly the same positive and negative situations, behaviors, betrayals, if that happened in the previous existence. Second instance, Second example. If two guys, for example, at the age of 45 years old, if both of them, if that's not matter, for example, if this person was in a female physical body or in a male physical body and vice versa, if they live a business betrayal, for example, a business betrayal, during and in the existence number 107, in the existence 108, the last one of the entire cycle of human existences, we have the right. They will live exactly the same. They will face, they will fight again due to the same reason, business betrayal. At the same age, they'll live exactly the same event, the same tragedy. A business betrayal. Alright? Telepathically, psychological effects of lust or betrayal, they connect one each other to establish again the recurrence. If it's a positive recurrence, excellent, nice and a half. But if there is a pendant negative recurrence, karma, they must live exactly the same. Exactly the same they created during the last and previous human existence. Telepathically is how it works. Right? If A made bad things to B, B has the right to give back the same. It's called karma. For sure there are a lot of positive recurrences, also called dharma. Dharma when there are positive recurrences. There are nice and amazing relationships, for example, between fathers and daughters, between our uncles, aunts, among some societies, for example, several citizens that fortunately acted in a good way one each other. So, due to the reality of this law, mechanical law, mechanic law, they have the right to meet again one each other and live once more exactly the same previous behaviors that they've created in the last existences. That's why, owing to the practice of self-observation, it's possible to detect when we feel the impulse of talking to anyone, of trying to start a business with anyone else, right? To react in an aggressive way Because probably we don't know that we are only fulfilling a recurrence. For the practitioners, astrally, internally, while they are dreaming or living in the fifth dimension of our universe, they receive the messages where their own inner beings or divine hierarchies are telling them, take care. There is coming soon a recurrence in your life. But if we delete all those traitors that we carry inside, all those lovers, all that lust we carry inside, without a doubt, will change the destiny, and we won't feel that strong inner strength to live exactly the same. Not even if it's a positive event or a negative event. It's very important to understand something else here and to establish reflection, analysis in each one of the different acts, actions, behaviors we have daily. In the lowest levels of our psyche, there are different pending compromises for all those inner actors called psychological flaws. Right? In the surface of our psyche, in the first levels of our mind, we have no idea what are the pending compromises that, at least for now, won't be faced. If from instant to instant, or at least as much as we can, we start the purification, deleting the first psychological flaws that we detect in our daily self-observation, gradually we'll have the right to go deeper and deeper in our psyche. Because remember that one of the goals here, one of our purposes here, is to become our subconscious conscious. And it's only possible if we start cleaning, knowing, deleting the several actors that there are, that exist in the first level of our psyche. Then when we clean, when we empty our first level of our psyche, we'll go to the second one, then to number 3, number 4, number 5, until we achieve the total elimination of level 49. With urgency, this is something to reflect about. Believe it or not, right now, we have no idea what are all these subjective elements that we already created since thousands or hundreds of years ago, what they are talking about, one each other. They will control the different magnetic centers of our human machine to establish and to repeat the recurrence, positive or negative one. But if we become, sooner than later, our subconscious is conscious, Thanks to the deleting, the elimination of our ego level by level, gradually, little by little, literally with infinite patience, we'll receive, for sure, thanks to our own efforts and merits, the help of our inner being and the help of divine hierarchies. The elimination of ego is the basis, is the fundamental if we want to transform our current human existence permanently. Probably, and for example, we are 46 years old right now. But when we are, for example, this is just an example, 48 years old, there are some pending compromises that when the moment arrives, the specific subjective flaws, psychological flaws, will take charge of our human machine through the magnetic centers, through our personality, to finally fulfill the recurrence, positive or negative event. Deleting the psychological defects, the actors of the first level of the consciousness, establish a positive, a nice discipline on ourselves, on our own psyche, psychology, mind. In our dreams, we'll receive the information that will let us know what is arriving, what is coming to our life, to our present existence, to our current existence. And there are some ways to change our destiny. The main one, number one, is the elimination of our entire ego. If we change ourselves with correct and practical procedures, we'll change our entire life, consciously, positively. But if we don't transform ourselves with practical, correct procedures, objective procedures, will we continue being the same? And nothing will change. Believe it or not, even if we believe we are very strong, we are not the owners of our life, of our destinies. All those subjective creations from previous human existences, since hundreds and thousands of years ago, they do have created our own destiny. If we honestly and seriously want to be the owners of our entire life and destiny, let's eliminate without mercy our ego, all those positive and negative actors, because anyway they are psychological flaws. Alright? Many times we think or we feel that we are wise people, but we are not. We don't even know that we don't know. That's terrible. It's necessary with urgency to get out of this unconsciousness. And it's only possible dying in ourselves, By dying in ourselves, it means deletes our entire ego without justifications, without theories, but with actions, with real and authentic facts. Through the psychological death, we'll see how our destiny changes. Do we seriously want to be aware of ourselves? Okay, let's die. Psychologically, obviously. Let's die psychologically. It is the elimination of our ego. If the germ doesn't die, the plant, the tree, doesn't birth. If we seriously aware by such goal, by such reality, we get the authentic freedom, the authentic enlightenment, happiness, the real one. Well, that's why it's essential, it's crucial self-observation to detect all those subjective impulses, mechanic reactions, negative reactions. And immediately, please, mentally, from the bottom of your heart, sincerely, my Divine Mother, please delete me this detail of lust, this detail of being aggressive, this intention of betraying my partner, my classmate, whatever you feel inside, all those fears, all those anxieties, all those negative intentions, all those envies, hates, rancors, revenges, all those lustful details, and so on. To act consciously with authentic wisdom, because remember, our consciousness, our own inner being, the 97% of our inner being is currently trapped inside of our ego, inside of all those thousands and even millions of psychological creations from dozens of human existences. Alright? If we release our own consciousness, our consciousness creates a new future, a new destiny, our own self-realization. To don't come back again here mechanically, but only with authentic consciousness to serve and to help the rest of our mankind wisely. As authentic and real masters, the active members of the White Brotherhood, of the White Lodge. Thank you very much for attending this conference, and if there is any question or doubt about it, I will respond you shortly. Bye.